You're watching Busted. I'm Afrida Rahman Ali. Today we will talk about the issue of smaller parties and their significance in the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. I'll break down for you the facts and figures. I'll draw in examples from 2019 elections to show you how they became significant, how they became game changers, and is it likely to be the same this time? Or are the dynamics very different? But before I go in there, viewers, here's what I have to say about how the caste politics, the religious and communal politics are being played in this country, which I will stick my head out and say is the biggest danger to our democracy. When you vote for a person merely on the basis of his caste or religion, you do a great disservice to this nation. The whole idea that I'll vote for you because you are from my religion means that us aadmi ke 100 guna maaf. He can get away with anything. He may or may not have performed. He may or may not have done any work at all for you during his tenure, but he will get your votes. Why? Because he comes from your community, your caste, a person who is from your religion. So this identity politics that is being played on us is damaging for this country. So let's get started with how are the smaller parties significant. These are the major points that I have found from the last election. In the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, the smaller parties in fact won less than 10 seats. Some even drew a blank. Vote base is majorly among the OBC, the backward caste, the scheduled tribe and the scheduled castes. Smaller parties have influence over specific caste. So it's a specific vote bank that they target, and that is the kind of vote share that they claim. And then they hope for the bigger parties to come and woo them and get into a negotiating scenario and get their due out of the bigger parties. That is largely how Indian politics work. And they help bigger parties consolidate community in their favor. So I'll give you the example in Uttar Pradesh. Take the instance of Apna Dal. They got 1.2% of the total votes and 2 Lok Sabha seats. What it did for the BJP is it got the Kurmi votes in BJP's favor. Similarly, in Jharkhand, AJSU got 4.3% of the votes and 1 Lok Sabha seat, but they helped Kushwaha community come in favor of the BJP. So this is how the caste politics are working. The bigger parties are roping in the smaller parties to actually get a grasp over these communities, going with the fact, like I said in the opening of this show, that these are people who will blindly follow and vote for the leader from their community alone. So how do they change the game? That is significant. Again, I'm going to draw examples from the last election, and I'm going to take examples from 3 major states: Maharashtra, Bihar, and Uttar Pradesh. In Maharashtra in 2019, smaller parties got 11% of the total votes. So let's take the example of Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi, a party which you would have not even heard the name of, the VBA. They got 7% of the total votes and no Lok Sabha seats. Yet they become significant. And why is that? Here is how I will explain it. They become significant as a spoiler. So this is the bottom line, that these smaller parties may or may not win seats. They still become significant as a vote cutter or a spoiler for the other big parties. Their very presence ruins the chances of the larger parties, either because they divide the anti-votes or because they draw from the votes of a certain community that the larger party was hoping to gain. Whichever way you look at it, if you take the instance of VBA, they became responsible for the defeat of the UPA in 3 Lok Sabha seats. In 2024, is the same thing likely to happen? Well, no. This time, the Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi party, a smaller party in Maharashtra, is with Uddhav Sena, and they are saying that together with the Uddhav Sena, they can win 50% of the Lok Sabha seats in Maharashtra. 48 total seats in Maharashtra. VBA and Uddhav Sena combined is saying together they can win 24 of those seats. So we'll have to wait and see if that really works out. But this was to explain to you how these smaller parties that no one has heard of can be significant players. In Bihar, LJP got 8% of the total votes last time around, won all 6 seats that it contested in Bihar. This is the party of Chirag Paswan, Ram Vilas Paswan's son. Now there in Bihar again, parties like RLSP, VIP, HAM, CPIML, these smaller parties got no seats. But they were very much in the game. Why? Because totally they won 9% of the total votes. Okay, so let's now look at the state of Uttar Pradesh. SBSP, a small party, no one has heard of it. We have heard of BSP, we've heard of SP, we've heard of Congress, we've heard of BJP in Uttar Pradesh, but there is a party with the acronym SBSP that got less than 1% vote in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, but it has influence over 15 seats in the Purvanchal area. So that is again another way of explaining how these small parties can make a dent, can ruin the chances of the larger parties. If it has influence over 15 seats in a state like Uttar Pradesh, which is hugely significant for Lok Sabha, SBSP automatically becomes an important player. So that's just how I have broken down things for you to help you understand the significance of the smaller parties in the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. Of course, at the moment, everybody is busy trying to garner support and gather allies. But which side is more powerful? Which side will really make the cut? It's a very complex game, rather difficult to predict. Thanks for watching Busted.